Hello, everybody.
Oh, can we start again? Because I was breathing into the microphone. I was jokingly doing it. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of A Couple of Creatives. I've always wanted to do that.
That's a nice intro.
Hello, and welcome back. Isn't that what everyone says when they have a podcast?
I think it's welcome back. I'm glad you came and listened. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. We both appreciate you. And the lady that's vacuuming in the background of this podcast also appreciates you.
I'm sorry. We live in a building. We can't always control the sounds around us.
I swear she's like, all right, podcast is starting and I'm going to vacuum right now.
It does feel like that. She'll decide to hang a picture, or it is a lot quieter than my last apartment, but still there's the dogs and...
It's interesting. But nonetheless, let's get right into today's topic of conversation, which the two of us are going to be discussing working for free. Be cussing and discussing.
Discussing.
It's going to be the episode, cussing and discussing.
We're a little weird right now. We just finished dinner. We're currently sitting at our kitchen table, and we are about half a glass into our full glass of wine.
Yeah, which means that bottle's almost done now. So you guys have a very conversational version, cussing and discussing group of people right now.
We're so fun.
So we're talking about working for free on this week's episode.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about the benefits, the negative aspects of it, kind of both of our viewpoints on working for free. And we'll jump into it. Lizzie, why don't you start?
I thought it would be really fun if on 3 we both said, so it's like we say whether or not we think that people should work for free, like on 3, and then you say yes or no. Okay. So I'll count to 3.
Okay.
What? I just thought it would be fun.
Okay, let's do it.
I have to think of what I'm going to answer.
I have my answer.
Because it's hard to pick one.
There's like a little asterisk beside my answer, which means I want to delve into it to like 12 minutes.
Yes, but. Or no, but.
Go. Just don't think about it.
1, 2, 3.
Yes.
Oh.
So we're both on the same page, which is great.
Yes, but.
Yes, but is the true answer to that response. I think that it's important to understand your value, and I think it's important to pick the right opportunities to work for free. And it's not always evident and obvious. You get a lot better at it as the years kind of go on. But what I would recommend is that you really pay attention to your gut and intuition in that situation. And that's really what's going to help guide you to making the right decisions in this area. So, Lizzie, do you have a story of working for free? Or do you want to give your yes, but?
The thing is, I think you have to, at a certain point in your career, you have to work for free. Usually it's in the form of an internship, because if you want to accelerate your career, you want to get experience before anybody else is. And you want to be out in the field, learning faster and being more equipped. Like if you're in school, for example, you want to be everyone's best asset when you finish. And you can only learn so much from being in school. I'm just saying, I'm just using school as an example because I went to school. So probably that's how I'm.
And school is just another place for you to fail and, keep making mistakes rather than doing it for clients.
Because, school is no guarantee that you're going to come out and be able to get a job after.
Far from it.
No. And we realized that, I'm not going to speak for you. I realized that pretty quickly when I got into my program in university. And I knew that I needed to find ways to differentiate myself or to separate myself. And I did that by doing internships and doing passion projects and doing things on the side and developing my skills that I wasn't necessarily learning in class, for example. And also working for free and trying out different jobs allows you to see what you like. And also, more importantly, figure out what you don't like. If you think like, it would be really great to, be an editor, and you like editing videos, but you decide to do this internship where you're an assistant editor or something, or you're assisting the assistant, you're
the assistant.
You're bottom of the barrel. But it's good because you get to see what they're doing every day and what that work entails.
I actually have a nice little asterisk to that point. I originally went to university thinking I was going to be an audio engineer. I was like dead set, like I'm going to be an audio engineer. I'm going to produce records. That's what I'm going to do. And then I actually made a record. I
Yeah.
went and like recorded a country band. I bought all the stuff. I had them come over to my parents' home in the basement, had all the people downstairs. I made a record and I was like, I don't like this.
No.
I'm going to stop doing this and do something I like more, which is video. So, you know, you're going to find out what you like doing by doing it. And a lot of the times the value of free, I'm doing like air quotations,
But most
is
importantly,
worth a lot.
what you don't like.
Yes, 100%.
And don't get discouraged. So many people are like, oh, well, I tried this and I thought it's what I wanted, but I didn't like it. So now I don't know what to do. It's like, just pick something else and try it. You don't know what you're going to like. A lot of people go into school or come out of high school thinking, well, actually not a lot. A lot of people have no idea what they want to do. But some people have like a certain job. They're like, I want to direct feature films.
Yeah.
And I think you couldn't be setting yourself up for failure more than doing something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you just have, like, when you get out of high school, like, you are not you yet. You know things that you like doing, but you have no idea what kind of lifestyle you want to live. Like, you haven't paid your own bills. You haven't, like, traveled very much, probably. Like, you don't know what you want.
You also have this idea of what it's like, and then when you actually do it, it's much different.
So I think going in, like, leaving high school and starting into the work field or starting school with, like, a much more open mind and being like, I know I love medicine, or I know I love, like, math. What's going to allow me to do math every day? Or in my case, it was, I love the arts. I love being creative. Yeah. I love editing these little videos, which is what I was really into in high school at that time, but they were just for fun. I love music, and I thought that that's what I was going to do for most of my life. I thought I was going to be some kind of musician. I really wanted to be a singer as a kid.
That's where we're the same.
That's where we're the same. Yeah. But then I kind of realized, I wasn't sure whether that was going to provide the kind of lifestyle I thought I wanted at the time. So I ended up going into radio and television arts. But my idea of what I wanted was always super broad. You know what I mean? It was like, I know I like this realm. Let me just get into this program and try everything and see what I like. And then when I think I like something, maybe I'll go look for an internship. And then if it doesn't work out or I don't like it, then whatever, you quit. They're not paying you. Who cares? Like, you're there
to kind of get an insight on how everything is working and really pay attention if you like it or not. Also, the experience of going through things and also the connections and networking opportunities are extremely important.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when you work for free, you're going to still get something out of it. Not the real value isn't always a monetary thing.
Yeah.
No, I think it's really important to understand that sometimes it's good karma that you're putting out. Sometimes it's experience that you're building. Sometimes it's a chance to make a mistake and just fail when no one really is paying attention. If you're really going into everything being like, I have to get a monetary thing out of this, you're probably going to close yourself off and in the long run, not even make as much money.
Yeah.
So I think it's important to go and work for free. I think it's important to go and do those things. But again, the asterisks, to pay attention to the right opportunities and really know what you're getting out of it.
And I think a lot of people think that, like, they almost wonder, well, how am I supposed to get these internships when I don't actually have any experience? As long as you go in, and this was always my angle when I was looking for internships. Like, of course I didn't know anything. I would be like first year in university. You know what I mean? But I would tell them all of my interests, everything I'd done, and show them that you're motivated and you want to learn. That's the biggest thing. And then when you can prove that you have skills and you're a quick learner and you deliver on everything that you've told them, that's when you have the opportunity to, if you like working there, maybe they'll offer you a full-time job. But in my case, like, I did a few internships, and one of them led me to meet a few people that gave me a few, like, freelance jobs like a year later.
Yeah.
But if we want to get into story time, I have one story.
Yeah, I wanted to talk on something that you were saying there, just one little note before we jump into story time. But I think a lot of people get really discouraged when they think and hear like, oh, I have to be the I'm just going to go into this because this is an unrated podcast. I don't want to be the coffee bitch. And like that
actually happened to me too.
But like sometimes all you need to do is prove yourself once or twice with being like, I know how to get coffee properly. And like, oh, okay, cool. They take direction. What's the next thing they can do? And it doesn't take long for you to go from the CB, the old coffee bitch, to, a junior editor.
Otherwise known as a PA.
Yeah. PA, production assistant.
Yeah.
The old CB, also known as PA. To go from that to working your way up very quickly, because building trust, and if you're good, you will find yourself more opportunities in that company or, in freelance positions if you can prove yourself on the smallest jobs.
Yeah, if you're good and organized. Yeah, if you can prove yourself on those small jobs and they're easy to you. And also when you're getting along with everyone.
Yeah.
Like we're actually training someone to work with us who... A couple of people, yeah. But one girl in particular... She did go to school with us. She was in a few years, a year below me or 2 years below me. I don't know.
It's not important.
She didn't really necessarily have any skills in what we're doing exactly. Like she'd never produced anything before. She'd never made a video before, but we had her out as a PA on a couple of our sets and everyone was going, wow, we love her. We love her so much, like all the talent and everything.
Yeah.
And she was just so organized, like with every little thing she understood, because there are some kind of silly things we have to do on set just to kind of appease clients and things like that. And people who kind of roll their eyes at it, it's like, well, you're not going to be any good at this because this is just how it works.
Yeah, attitude plays such a big part.
Attitude is huge. And everything was done with a smile. She was so great with everyone. She was so excited to be there. And we had her out a couple times and we were like, she would be so good at this. If she can, anyone can learn these things if they're interested in it.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, anyone can do this, whether or not you, like most of what you and I are doing right now, we actually didn't learn in school.
No.
But school taught us a lot with that said, because of the program it was.
I mean, for me, what I got out of school, and I don't want to deter from what we're talking about working for free, but for me, it was just an opportunity to fail and then network.
Networking was huge in our program. That's why so many people.
I'm just glad that I got a chance to make a lot of things that no one ever publicly saw.
They gave us Reds.
Which is a really expensive camera for anyone who's listening and not familiar.
Who hands? I was 19. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they handed you a $25,000 camera and was like, cool, go have fun. So the opportunity to have access to certain pieces of equipment and then make garbage with really expensive pieces of equipment. I don't want to say what you made is garbage.
But anyways, this isn't about school. This is another podcast.
We're moving along.
Too fast.
Let's get back on. Let's reel it back in.
Yeah, get back.
So story time with Elizabeth Pierce.
Story time with Elizabeth Pierce. Okay. Which do you want to hear first? My nightmare internship story? It's not very long because it didn't last long. But then I have a really good one.
Do the short one, then I'll say something, and then you can say something.
Okay, that sounds good.
Cool.
Okay.
That's how I got.
So my nightmare one was I got this internship, and I think it was the first one of the first ones I'd ever done, and it was going to be more long term. And it sounded like there was a lot of opportunity there, and I was...
It always does.
It does, and it was a smaller place. I don't know. I was excited about it.
You do good here, Lizzie. There's going to be new opportunities.
We'll give you this. Anyways, so... But who was I to be choosy? I wanted experience,
Someone was saying yes, and you wanted to also say yes.
So I show up on my first day, and I meet the... executive producers. It was just 2 executive producers, and then I don't even know what this woman's job was who interviewed me, but the exec producers were 2 men, one of which he was not friendly when I met him, but you never know with people, and I'm used to my family it's a military family. They're all kind of, can I swear, hard asses.
No, I already gave permission to swear.
I'm swearing. They're hard asses.
It's fine.
And I keep forgetting whether or not we can swear. And yeah, I didn't have the best vibes. But anyways, she already warned me that I would have to go out and get coffee sometimes. And I was like, as long as you're giving me real work, I don't care. That's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
So I go up to take his order, and he's being super specific. He's like, I want a vanilla latte. Okay, are you understanding me? A vanilla latte. I was like,
dig it.
Yeah, but I thought he was being sarcastic because it was so condescending. So I'm kind of smiling. I'm like, yeah, I think I got it kind of thing. Because you're just kind of wondering, is this person really like this? You know what I mean? When you first encounter it. And so I'm like, yeah, I got it. And anyways, I go to the coffee shop. It was I don't know, 2-minute walk. And of course they're out of vanilla syrup. So because he was so
Dun,
specific
dun.
about a vanilla latte, I was like, well, maybe I should just call him. So I get out of line. I try and call. They don't answer. So I was like, whatever. I'll give him hazelnut. Like, hazelnut's good. I always do that if I don't like the vanilla one.
Yeah.
So I take him back the hazelnut latte. He's like, oh, sorry, they didn't have vanilla. So here's hazelnut. And he literally had a full hissy fit. Did I ever tell you about this? Because I'm pretty sure we were dating.
First time I've heard this
Had
story.
a full hissy fit that I brought him hazelnut. He's like, did I say hazelnut? And I was like, no, but they didn't have vanilla. So I tried calling and he was like, literally threw a fit. And I walked out of the room just like, did that even really happen?
Yeah.
And I finished the day because I was just kind of processing. And they were just getting me to read scripts all day. And I was like, first of all, I'm bored as shit. Second of all, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And I mean, me now being older and, not a teenager would have reacted completely differently. But I was still so young. And like, you still believe everyone's good.
Yeah.
Now I know that not everyone's great. And I went home and my friend, it was our friend Michelle, told me she'd interned there before. And she was like, and I texted her, I said, oh, well, I just finished my first day and it was really weird. Can I call you? And anyways, I talked to her. She told me even worse stories about what happened while she was interning there. Couldn't even believe she stayed there.
Yeah.
Anyways, I emailed them that night and said that I got a paid job and I wasn't coming back in. I lied.
Yeah.
Just to come up with some excuse. And I never went back.
So I have some questions for you about that story.
Yeah.
What did you learn from that experience? And would you recommend
Makes
people...
me feel so weird even thinking that happened now.
Okay, but like,
It's like a
you
dream.
went through it and we're talking about, you answered yes earlier to working for free. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of, for me, for everybody listening and for myself, connect the dots in that experience as to why you still saw value in that.
Well, I didn't see any value in that particular experience, but I think that there's a difference to working for free and interning and learning and where both parties are getting something beneficial, where both parties are getting something beneficial. You're learning what's happening in that environment that you've never been in before.
Yeah.
And they're getting someone who can do tasks for them that they need to be done.
Yeah.
Who has potential, they have someone they can almost have in a trial run to potentially hire later on.
Yeah.
At no point is it okay for them to ever take advantage of you or to put you down.
Yeah.
Ever. The second that starts happening, you leave. And I did leave. I really should have left as soon as that happened. But I'm not surprised that I didn't because you just try and change the story in your head and you're in kind of disbelief when things like that happen. And I was young and whatever. But just because you're working for free doesn't mean you're anybody's bitch, really.
Yeah.
You're a human being and you deserve to be treated like another human being who is giving their time also for no pay.
Yeah.
Which should mean they should be even nicer to you, really.
Yeah.
And they should want to help you learn. You know what I mean? And give you, it's fine if you have to get coffee once in a while. That's why they need someone to do little things like that. But there's always going to be a need for those little things to be done by someone.
But, we still do those things all the time, even in our own company. And like for us, like it'd be like, oh, do you mind just grabbing a coffee or making a coffee? Like that's okay because we're still treating each other with respect.
And if you care about the business and you care about what you're working on, you're willing to do anything to make it great. Like we're willing to do anything to make our business great and to work together to, to do something awesome. No matter if it's organizing a filing cabinet,
because we're working towards something together. What I see that you got out of that experience, just from my perspective, is that you really learned to even just trust your gut more. Like you knew that you were in that situation and you were still willing to work for free to get something out of it. And what you'll walk away with at the end of the day is a better intuition of what you really wanted and how you want to be treated in an environment and who the people that you want to be around. And who you want to learn from too. Like it sounds like, they weren't respecting you. So why should you respect
and I was like,
them?
I don't need this that badly. And I got another internship like a month later.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. People love people who will work for free.
Yeah.
And actually the place I interned next, the executive producer actually knew that other exec producer, which was really funny. And
Yeah.
I told him what happened because he and I ended up becoming good friends. And he couldn't believe that it happened. And I said, well, I would just, sleep with one eye open around that guy because he crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting now. I think a couple years ago, when I was like really trying to make a transition from like making government videos to wanting to start making travel videos and travel content and getting paid to essentially reposition myself as not just like a business owner, but like a social media person, or just wanting to jump into that realm. I worked for free and I actually invested back into myself. And if anything, I went in the deficit, if you should say, of, an investment in
Where
terms
did you
of like
work
monetary.
for free?
I didn't work anywhere specifically for free, but I went and made these travel videos on my own dime and on my own expense. Yeah. Right. And I worked for free to put my name out into the world. So I went and shot these videos of Toronto, and then the Toronto video ended up going into this like travel video that ended up kind of getting some interest from like the Azores Tourism Board. And from there, all these kind of investments of working for free on my own or on my own dime. Because I went and shot like Montreal, Quebec City, a whole bunch of places for free. Like it probably cost me like a few $1,000s to make those things. But in the long run, those things come back to you.
It's all time you're putting into getting good at something. And there's different areas that you can invest your time into that are going to allow you to do that. School is one because they give you resources and networking and some information depending on the program that you're in. You don't really need it for what we're doing, I don't think either. Another area is the free work and internships and things like that. And then another area is your own passion projects and working on your own projects and coming up with your own ideas and putting your time into it, and whatever your heart wants to make, spending time making that from beginning to end and understanding that process. Like you and I were always doing like all of those things all at once. Time. One of them doesn't end and allow you the opportunity to do the other one. Yep. You're constantly juggling and just trying to get good.
Yep.
And in the process, at some point, you end up landing eventually a job that you like, and then you go from there. You either, keep working for someone else, or you work for yourself. It's like, but you end up working in the field that you love. Yep.
And you also end up taking it. The part of it too is taking risks on things, because I think, especially as being an entrepreneur, not only do you have to have like this portfolio to showcase and this really strong network to pick from and work from and, create from, whatever you want to say like there. But sometimes you just got to take risks, because you never really know where things are going to go. You never know what a quick, coffee date with somebody could lead to.
You just got to try shit.
But you just got to go out and try things all the time. You know what I mean? I mean, even with the example of, Peter's a really good friend of mine. And it's one of those things too, where we I didn't have expectations from it. I didn't when we originally met and tried to become rekindle our friendship, because we hadn't seen each other in a couple years. That was one of those things where we just got together, and it was just I didn't have expectations. And I think it's important to stay true to that. But again, that cost me money, or that was free time. That was time away from working on other things. Yeah. But you also just never know what things lead to. Yeah. And I think it's important to just go and try stuff. I went for 1 year. I remember I was just trying to shoot every single day. It was whatever it is, doesn't matter. $10, no money, $50, $100. I wanted to shoot all the time. And every night I would have friends over. I would shooting places, shooting photos of you, just trying to make stuff.
You and I in school would have photo shoot nights, remember? And we would get a couple of beers, and we'd be in we'd either be downtown or at your parents' house. Yeah. Either there was no in between. Yeah. Because my apartment was tiny, and just taking photos and going out, and I had no money at that time, and it was just so fun, and we felt like we were on top of the world, doing everything, you know what I mean? The world is our oyster.
Well, you were just trying stuff.
Yeah, and it was just so fun, and I was finally starting to realize I can be good at this. In high school, I was just making little videos for fun, and I don't know. I like I said, I always had an open mind. And then going into university, I kind of knew I had a knack for editing, but then when I got into school, I got distracted with all of the options that were available. And And I didn't pursue that. And then like somehow in my second year, I was like, oh, right, I am really good at this.
So
picked it up again.
Question for you. Can you share a story of when you worked for free
Yes.
and it worked out for you?
Yes. I'm trying to think whether I was I think I was between jobs. It was after university and before I got my first job.
Like full-time job.
Full-time job at that corporate video production company.
Yeah.
From what I remember, I think it was. And I was freelancing, but a friend of ours was, what was her official position? But she was basically...
I don't know who the friend is.
Emily. I'm about to, can I say names? Is it bad?
Sure, I don't think it matters. This is a good situation.
Okay, well, Emily Jenkins?
You'll have to refresh me. I don't know which project.
You really don't know? Okay, anyways, she was, I don't remember.
Sounds like you don't remember either, so you can't.
I don't remember what her position was, and I feel bad about that because there was actually a really small team, but it was basically like they did a lot of live sessions, and they also worked on a lot of like corporate content, but a lot of commercial stuff.
Yeah.
So it was a lot of commercial video content, and they also did these live sessions with like famous, well-known bands and musicians and artists. Like when I was working there, like Nickelback came in that one time, and Sam Hunt. Like I literally met them, and like I knew that's what they did, and I was like, this is so up my alley. It's music, it's video. Like I want to be there. Yeah. And they were always looking for PAs for some of these live session shoots. And I went and I made sure that they knew. I was like, I can shoot, by the way. Yep. I can do all these things. Like whatever you need, like let me know. I'm just so excited to be there. And I really was.
Yeah. People have no expectations of the person that comes and works for free.
No. And I was so excited. And Emily was like, oh, that's great. And so she actually told her producers, and then they were short a camera op for whatever reason. And so I shot I can't remember if it was the Sam Hunt one or the Nickelback one now. What is happening to me? I shot one of them.
You shot one of the videos for a big artist. So you went from just being a PA to somebody that was like an actual asset to that production.
And I made sure whenever we would have conversations, like I would tell her or tell the producers my intentions. I'd say, this is what I'm doing right now, but I really want to learn more about this. And I know that's what I would be good at. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for the right opportunity. I'm freelancing right now, but I'm just so excited to be here. This is like all my interests wrapped into one. Yeah. Very clear. I went out on 3 different shoots, I think, and they knew me. So then it was easier for them to okay me to come back. And then of course, like, can you imagine working around like famous musicians? There was so much like politics involving that and being nice to them and making sure they had like, the waters they wanted, and all those things. And I was like, I get it. This is how it runs. Started working for that corporate production company, and they would ask me to come back, and I'd be like, no, I can't. I work full time. Like, I can't. But then Emily was leaving, and they were like, oh, we're hiring, and I said, oh my God, I would love your job. So I like snuck away from my corporate job to go interview there. I said I had an appointment or something. Interviewed, and then I didn't get it that time. And I was like, whatever, I still got another job. But then you and I decided I was going to leave that corporate job. Yeah. And I did. And then literally a week after I quit that corporate job and you and I started working together, they came to me and were like, oh, that girl didn't work out. Do you want to come back in? Yeah. And I was like, wait, what? And then they literally offered me the job. Yeah. And then there was this moment of like, I thought this was what I wanted. Yeah. And I felt so guilty.
Like if they had just hired you almost a week earlier, you might not even be here.
I might not even be here.
That's the way that life works out.
Because I'm not done.
No, I was going to ask you a question in your thing. I was going to say, so how many times did you end up shooting for this company before they ended up offering you a job? How much of your time was taken away or working for free before you really got an opportunity to get your potential dream job at the time or your...
There? Yeah. Well, there were 3 shoots and they were really long days, like probably like 10 hours, 12 hours or something each time. And then I had that interview.
Like 25 to 30 hours.
Yeah, like nothing really.
Nothing. To go from doing something that like to really participate in
Yeah.
something that you enjoyed and got to meet famous musicians just because they were looking for help
Yeah.
to going and like getting offered a full-time job with a good salary.
I wish the timing worked out better. I wish I worked at that corporate production company for 1 year, worked with like this other more commercial production company for 1 year. And then you and I were like, yeah, let's go. You
but
know what
life
I mean?
is interesting. That's the way
Yeah.
it works. But I think
But can I just talk about the guilt? The guilt in leaving a full-time job where I was also getting promoted. And then you and I started working together. And then getting offered this other job, which I thought would have been like my perfect job. And then still working
and
for
also,
yourself.
I had no idea if we could like afford you for like 3 months.
Yeah, and we didn't know whether we could actually like
Yeah.
whether this could float or not.
Yeah.
Financially. And like literally wanted to throw up that entire month and thinking like, this is what I thought I wanted? And be like, no, I said I was going to give this a shot. And I just said, you know what I mean? I made all of these intentions that we were going to work for ourselves.
Yeah.
And so I said no. And I haven't heard back from them since. I think they were kind of upset about it. But.
That's okay. Well, we're doing quite fine and we're happy with where we're at.
Yeah.
And we made the right choice.
It all worked out.
Do you have any questions for me about things? I've been asking you a lot of questions.
You didn't work for free.
Okay, so here's a bit of my... No. I do work for free quite often. It's just that I didn't
Not
work
in
for
the
free
internship way.
in the traditional way. So I came from a family that I think it was always just ingrained in me, like understand your value kind of situation, which I think is both good and bad. But let's kind of focus on like the good side of it. My internships, I never personally, this was like my own choice. I was like, I never wanted to work for free for another company, like where I was going to be showing up regularly too.
Yeah.
Like I'm okay with working for free on like one-offs or working for free on like passion projects and working for free on like short-term investments, whether it be like someone who's like, I have this one video or this short, like little YouTube series I want to work on.
Yeah, but there's
like,
always a
that's
check.
fine.
There's always like a checklist and
Yeah.
why you're doing it too.
Yeah, but I mean, my like traditional work experience is also very short-lived too. Like that just wasn't the realm I wanted, and I don't think it really made sense for me. But even when I did do my internship, I was like, you got to at least pay me like $12 an hour, like pay me minimum wage.
Yeah,
to do
I wanted
this.
to get into this too.
Right, and then they were like, yeah, it's no problem because a lot of the times just asking to be able to do that because you need to make a living, but I will still go back to my main answer and say, yes, you should still do things for free. I just think you have to make the right strategic choices, right? Like you don't do everything for free because you're going to just network with other people who just want you to do free work. Because the moment you do free work in a freelance position, sometimes it might lead to other people who want you to do free work. I think it's just paying close attention to the personalities that you're working with, the type of work that you're doing, and ultimately what either experience or value add you're going to get out of it.
Yeah, can I tack on to the end
Go.
of that? Go. So I think that you have to do free work if you don't have any experience. But once you start to get some experience, once you have a camera, enough. You have a camera. You've got a few of these internships under your belt. You know what I mean? You have skills and you have knowledge. You deserve to be paid something. And you'll know at what point you do deserve to be paid, like at least minimum wage or whatever. And you have to demand that. And then you have to say no to some of those free things. Yeah. Unless it is literally, it's exactly what you want to do. Like I thought I really wanted to work, in music and video and for that commercial production company.
Yeah. Or
and
I really wanted to make travel videos.
Yeah.
And really build connections and really have a portfolio to showcase to clients.
Yeah, like that. Like, they can always give you at least $50. Or, you know what I mean? If it's like for one project,
Yeah.
they can give you
Sometimes it's
$100.
just something small.
They can give you $200. Like they have
Even
money.
if it's a gift card for like $20 somewhere,
And that's
because
what's
there's
gonna-
still a value exchange.
And that's what's going to transition you from making no money into like having this as your little part-time side gig to having this be your full-time job, is learning, okay, I now feel I deserve this amount of money, and asking for it and saying no to the things that are unpaid, or saying no to a rate that isn't what you deserve.
And then that keeps growing from there.
Yeah.
But, it's interesting because I would say that we still do the odd free thing here and there because we're still trying to like build parts of our portfolio. I mean, I think our YouTube careers are a prime example of working for free. Everyone
thinks that thinks like we do some sponsored content. Can we just have a quick rant about the sponsored content? Because it is, when you're doing a video that's not sponsored or anything, it's really not paid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're making that from like an artistic decision.
Yeah. I got into this as like a personal challenge to myself and being like, I can do this. I want to see, you know what I mean? Chris just started to do this. Like, I can do this too. And just kind of seeing what happened. I had no real expectations. I just wanted to make things. And then I had a platform to make things. And it was really cool when people wanted to see the things that I made, and meeting other people and meeting all these like-minded people in the YouTube community that are now my friends. But every week when we're making a video, that doesn't cover any of our expenses, at least not mine. You have a larger following than I do.
No, but it doesn't matter. I mean, you're still working for free.
And so when people get so upset that we've done a sponsored video, what do you expect me to do? Not get paid for the work that I'm doing and all of the free information that we're trying to give you guys, and to make these like interesting to watch? You know how long it takes to make one of these videos? You know what I mean? Like
rants aside.
And there's stuff that but we make sure that they're products or they're brands that we really love and that we wanted to work with and we can vouch for. But otherwise, that is also working for free. And that's why I think this rant was applicable.
It's a fairly applicable rant. I think it is important, but I think really where you want to get to at the core of this conversation about the YouTube stuff is that we were already making money. We had a company that was revenue generating. It was in the green. It was paying our lifestyle. And it was doing what we wanted. But we both decided that we wanted something else. And we both wanted some other opportunities in our lives to mix with the things that we already had going on, because that's who we are as people. And when we first started, I remember like everybody in like family being like, "Oh, so you're making YouTube videos? That's cute. That's so cool. Oh, you spent 3 days on that. Yeah. Wow. 3 days. Yeah, my mom would always be like, she's like, so how's work going? And then I would talk about YouTube. And then she'd be like, so what about the business though? Like, is anything coming in? And she'd sound like so concerned. Like, are you not working on anything? Are no jobs coming up recently? You're finishing those? Is nothing coming up? Like, so concerned. And I'd be like, no, I'm still working on those. I'm not as excited about them right now. More things. You're like, you hit a certain plateau with what you're comfortable. Like there was like 2 years where we were super stoked on our business and everything that was happening. Yeah. And then other opportunities kind of grow. You get used to like, everything becomes like a new normal. And then from there you want to grow. And we were willing to make an investment in ourselves and work ultimately for free on these things. I mean, I commend Becky and Chris for the amount of episodes that they've made on quote unquote for free.
Can I just talk for 1 second? If you're not watching Becky and Chris, stop this podcast, go watch their videos, subscribe to them, because they are great. And the best part is that they were doing this for 3 years because they loved it. And in the beginning, they weren't great. You'll hear Becky and Chris talk about like their vlogs weren't great. They were vlogging on like a GoPro for a while. Yeah. But now that they have over 50,000 subscribers, people are watching and they're freaking dope.
Yeah. But they're still like,
because they love it. Yeah. And they started out doing it because they love it. And now they're just like kicking it. Yeah. Doing what they were always doing.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons as to explaining why they're currently doing, these things for free. And ultimately, at the end of the day, there's a lot of value add for having an audience, and a lot of value add that's not just directly made from, selling advertising space on your YouTube channel. There's a lot more in terms of brand positioning. That's a whole separate podcast.
You can talk about why Becky's not getting like paid for anything, or why she
But
can't.
that's like a completely side conversation. I'm just talking, like, I think it's better to like reel it back into like why we chose to.
She's a Canadian in America.
Okay.
And she can't work.
Lizzie gave the answer. Let's jump back into us because I think
really quick
both of
answer.
us sidetrack all very quickly. But I mean, that's the side from the fact.
People are here because they like us. Okay.
Yeah.
Am I right, guys? Or am I right?
But, if there's something that you've really been thinking about what you want to invest in or what you want to put your time into or where you want to start going, I think it is important that, the initial stages that it's okay to work for free. And sometimes those expectations of working for free allow you to make mistakes or really get to, showcase your skill set very easily. So whether or not it's going and proving yourself on the coffee run or going to a place and putting your intentions that like, hey, I also know how to shoot video too. And this is what I really want. And then, you do 2 more of those and you end up getting almost a full-time job.
I think people need to not think about it as working for free and think about it as a trial and whether you really love that thing or not. Because when you're not getting paid for anything, like that's kind of your return on the investment is money. But when you're not getting the money, all you're getting back is knowledge and then enjoyment of doing that and enjoyment of getting better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's really an exercise in, do I really like doing this or not?
Yep.
Money aside, because I think a lot of us are in this industry because it's something that we loved to do, not because we thought it was something that was going to pay tons and tons and tons of money.
Yeah. I think we are creatives. You get other things out of making things. That's not just monetary value. That's the business side of it.
I think that's a good note to wrap it up on.
I agree. If you guys are enjoying the podcast, it would mean the world to us if you did give it a little rate on either iTunes or whatever place that you're listening to it right now. We also are making regular content on YouTube and Instagram. So if you guys want to give us a follow there, come say hello. Let us know what you thought of the podcast. We'll send you a little DM back.
It's just our names. If you don't know us,
Yeah.
If this is how you found us, that's freaking amazing. And
Yeah.
then go watch our other stuff and look at our other pictures.
We appreciate you. Thank you guys for listening. And this is just a couple of creatives signing off.
See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.